Good morning, friends. My name is Michelle. This is my channel, Halfway Homestead, and today I am harvesting some different plants to later make tea with. Now, first of all, I am not an herbalist. I know very little about the medicinal or beneficial properties of plants, but I am learning, and so I already know I love mint, and so the mint this morning got a haircut. I cut off, oops, I dropped a piece. I cut off at least the top third of growth out of 2 pots, and I do know I have a couple different kinds of mint. However, I have lost the labels, and so I don't really know what's here. I just know it's mint. I also went out and picked a whole bunch of plantain leaves. This is my first time picking plantain. I was listening to a YouTube video. I can't remember. I think her name is Jill, maybe. I can't remember. I will look up her name and put it on the screen. And she has the YouTube channel, I think it's called Homestead Family. But she was talking about, not specifically plantain, but she was talking about using the plants that you have readily available in your own environment, okay? And there are places in my yard where there's more plantain than there is grass. And so I looked plantain up, and it does have a lot of antioxidants. I think it said vitamin A, C, and K. And so I'm going to give it a try. One of the ways that I consume leafy greens is by dehydrating and powdering it. I have a really hard time digesting certain greens. Can you see Daisy? And her pillow that she tore apart? Daisy! Silly girl. For example, like cabbage and kale, Swiss chard, those types of greens I cannot digest, or I really struggle to digest. So I do grow some of those. I pick them, I dehydrate them, and then I powder them, and I can then mix them into things like spaghetti sauce, meatloaf, hamburgers. I make a creamy garlic sauce for pizza. I can put it into that, put it in my pot pie, put it in soup. I can even put a scoop into smoothies. So that is how I get my leafy greens. So this is my first time, like I said, picking this one, and we'll see how I do with that. The other one I picked, which I will have to have gloves on for this, these are red raspberry leaves. And this is my first time doing red raspberry leaves as well. And so Rachel on that 1870s homestead, she talks about red raspberry leaves being beneficial to women's health specifically. And so same thing, I'm going to dehydrate, and then I'm hoping to use the mint and the raspberry leaves, possibly the plantain, and definitely chamomile to make some tea. And we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I've never done this. I do love chamomile tea. I love mint tea. But I've never made up my own tea mixtures, which I would love to know more about. One thing I read about the plantain is that it's good to use it like when you're not feeling well. If you have a sore, scratchy throat, or even some stomach upset, some acid reflux. And so we'll see how I tolerate that one. And maybe we'll put that, aside for winter whenever flu season comes around. Or if I've eaten too much fried food and I have a tummy ache. I don't know. We'll see. So let me bring you down closer. I kind of need another bowl. I'm going to go get another bowl or two, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Okay. Okay, I'm back. I went and grabbed a colander. The plantain, I'm just going to leave in this bowl. I've already picked the leaves. There is a little bit of grass in here, but this one I am just going to thoroughly wash, dry, and then put out on my drying trays. I'm going to use the trays that go into my dehydrator. However, I'm not going to turn the dehydrator on. I'm just going to set the trays out and about in the basement and let things kind of air dry. So this one just needs to be washed. The mint, let me bring you down closer. Okay, the mint, I'm actually going to strip off the leaves, and I've done this a couple different ways in the past. Sometimes I just dehydrate this whole thing and then I take the leaves off later, but really it just makes such a mess that I think I want to go ahead and take the time and do it now while they're green and not make such a big mess. And standing here with it, I can smell that amazing mint, and I might have to go make some tea, really. Okay, same thing when I get to the raspberry leaves, but with the raspberry leaves, I'm gonna have to wear gloves. So, okay, so here's a leaf, and this one too. These are really bug damaged, so I'm not gonna put those in to dehydrate. I'm going to kind of strip that off of there. Easy peasy. All right, I'll bring you back when I'm ready to do the raspberries. Okay, the raspberry leaves are going to take a little bit more time because, for one, they're thorny, so I've got my gloves on, but also I'm going to clip the leaves off, like right up here at the end of their stem. That leaf doesn't look very good, so I'm not going to keep that one. Because the leaves, or I'm sorry, the thorns go all the way up the little stem of the leaf. So I'm only going to cut off the leaves that I think look good. And I've got a bucket down here to catch the pieces I'm not going to use. So this is going to take some time. That's okay. All right, I'll bring you back when I'm done with the raspberry leaves. Come on. Okay, I've got everything kind of soaking in just some cold water. Kind of helps things stay a little bit crisp, nice bright green, and wash off some of the dust. I'm going to dump, these are the mint leaves. I'm going to dump these in my colander. Okay. Give them a good shake. And then I'm just going to dump them out on this towel. It's just a bath towel. Okay. And give them a pat. I don't want to squish them. I don't want to rub on them. I just want to dry them off a little bit. It'll take less time to dehydrate if they're a little bit dry. Okay, then these are going to go onto my dehydrator trays. And so I'm just going to spread these out. I don't want them, they don't have to be in a single layer, but I don't want them in a really thick layer either. So I'm probably going to use 2 trays for this. All right, let me go grab another tray. Here we go. Now I'm going to set these downstairs in my, I have a guest bedroom downstairs, and that's where all of my grow lights are at. We rarely have guests that spend the night, so I'm going to put these on my shelves that have the grow lights, just so that they can get some good airflow. And then ever so often I'll go downstairs and just kind of fluff them up and move them around, and that will help the drying process as well. All right, let's get another one. Okay, I went and grabbed my 2 trays. These are the raspberry leaves. So we're going to do the same thing for those. Shake them out. Now, I did hear somebody say on another channel that you really want the young growth. And so when I went out there to get these, I picked the youngest canes to pull off of, or to cut off of. And ideally you want to do this, according to Google University, that you want to do this like mid-morning after the dew has left, but before the afternoon sun hits. Well, it's about 1:45 and it's a very cloudy, overcast day, so I think we'll be okay doing it at this time. So same thing, I'm going to spread these out onto, I thought I just saw a bug. Maybe not. Okay, I'm going to spread these out, not too thick. Okay, that's not a bug, but it's just a dried up leaf. Okay, raspberry leaves are done. I don't have very much of the plantain, so I think just one tray will be plenty. I could get more plantain, but I'm going to see how I do with it first. Got some grass in there too. Just dry it off. Okay. All right, we'll get the plantain on here, and then I'll show you where, there's a little caterpillar on that one, where we're going to put these. Trying not to get the grass. It's hard to pick plantain and not also get grass. Now I have a herbal remedies book that I was going to show you, but I can't put my hands on it right now because I can't find it. And I know it's in this house, but it's probably in my messy bedroom. If I find it before I actually post this video, I'll put the name of it and maybe a picture of the title or the cover so you can see. But it is just absolutely full of great information. Yeah, this is taking a little bit more. I don't want that one. A little bit more time to lay out. This had a lot more caterpillars. And although that might add some protein, I don't want caterpillars dehydrated in my tea. Okay, there we go. And I will take you downstairs and show you where we're going to put these. All right, welcome to the messy guest bedroom. This is my grow station, and I've got some gardening stuff on here. This mess here in front is some of my farmer's market supplies and display. So I'm going to just put these shelves, or these trays rather, right here on the racks. I need to move a few things. There we go. Okay, and then I'll put one here on the very bottom. Okay, now, if you'd like to know more about what I'm going to do with these plants, these greens, maybe subscribe to my channel. And once I try these things, these like the plantain and the tea mixes, once I try those, then I will share that with you as well. And it may be something that I absolutely can't stand, but we will find out. So, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for clicking on my channel. Thank you for watching. Please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. See you next time. Bye.